The generator is running, load is stable, fuel is fine, nothing has changed. And when you look at the panel, frequency is dropping. 49.1 Hz, 48.7 Hz, 48.3 Hz. Every technician on site is staring at each other. Nobody knows what to look at first. I've been in that situation, and I'm going to tell you what was happening, why it happens, and the checklist I use every single day on site when I see frequency drift under load. If you work with generators, this one you need to know. Why frequency drop under load? Let's start with the basics, not textbook basics, field basics. Frequency in a generator is directly tied to one thing: how fast the engine is spinning. In a 50 Hz system, the engine needs to maintain exactly 1500 RPM. In a 60 Hz system, it's 1800 RPM. That's it. Frequency is just a measurement of shaft speed. So when frequency drops, the engine is slowing down. Something is preventing it from maintaining its speed under the load being demanded of it. Now, here is where most people stop. They say the engine slowed down and they go check the fuel. That's wrong, but it's not the full picture. There are three things working together to keep that engine at the right speed under load. Number one, the governor. The governor is the brain of the engine speed control. When load increases, the governor detects the speed drop and opens the fuel rank to add more fuel, bringing the RPM back up. If the governor is low, poorly calibrated, or faulty, it reacts too late or not enough. The engine drops speed, frequency drops. Number two, the fuel delivery system. Even if the governor reacts perfectly and commands more fuel, if fuel can't get there fast enough, the engine can't respond. Block filters, low fuel pressure, worn injectors, all of these limit how quickly the engine can increase power output. The governor says, "Give me more fuel." The fuel system says, "I can't." Frequency drops. Number three, and this one most technicians miss, the load type. Not all loads eat a generator the same way. A resistive load like heaters or lighting is smooth and predictable, but an inductive load, motors, compressors, transformers, creates a sudden inrush demand when it starts. That inrush hits the engine before the governor can react. For a fraction of a second, the engine is overwhelmed. Frequency dips. On most healthy generators, that dip recovers in 1 to 3 seconds. If it doesn't recover, or if the dip is severe, you have a problem in one of those 3 areas. Now let me tell you what to check first, in the order I actually check them on site. What to check first? Field priority order. When I arrive on site and frequency is dropping under load, I follow the same sequence every time. I'm going to give you that sequence now. First thing I check, the governor response. Watch the frequency on the panel as load changes. What I'm looking for is how fast frequency recovers after a load step. If it recovers within 2 to 3 seconds and stabilizes, the governor is responding. If it hangs, meaning frequency goes up and down repeatedly without settling, that's telling me the governor is unstable. Either the gain settings are wrong or there is a mechanical issue with the actuator. On electric governors, I'll connect the governor controller and check the drop settings and the gain parameters. On mechanical governors, I'm looking at the linkage and the actuator response physically. Second thing, fuel system. I check fuel pressure and the injection pump inlet, not just at the tank. A clean tank with a blocked primary filter may stop the engine under high load even if it runs fine at light load. I check the primary filter, secondary filter, and fuel pressure readings. When I look at the injector condition, one injectors can't optimize fuel efficiency under high load demand. If the engine is hours on it and injectors haven't been serviced, that's your suspect. Third thing, engine condition. Compression and turbocharger performance. A tired engine with one ring or slow compression cannot produce rated power. So under full load, it will slow down regardless of governor or fuel. I'll check exhaust temperatures across cylinders. A cold cylinder means no combustion. A very hot one means that cylinders is carrying extra load. Turbo boost pressure tells me if the air inside of the equation is healthy. No air, no power, no frequency. Fourth thing, the load profile itself. Before I assume the governor is faulty, I want to understand what's being connected to it. I look at the load curve. If there is a specific moment when frequency drops, is it every time a particular motor starts? Is it a gradual drop? A small load is added, or a sudden drop at a specific event. This tells me whether the problem is the generator struggling or the load demanding more than the generator is rated for. I have seen sites where the generator was perfectly healthy and the problem was a motor with a faulty soft starter creating excessive inrush every time it kicked in. Fifth thing, and this one surprises people, the AVR, the automatic voltage regulator, and the governor interact. When voltage drops under load, the AVR increases excitation to restore voltage. That increased excitation increases the reactive load on the engine. On a generator that's already struggling, this additional demand from the AVR can be the thing that pushes frequency over the edge. I've seen frequency instability that looked like a governor problem and turned out to be an AVR that was overcompensating on voltage, creating a reactive load spike the engine couldn't handle. Check your AVR settings and make sure voltage is stable before concluding the governor is the problem. Prevention and what it means for your system. Now let's talk about what you do so this doesn't happen in the first place. Governor maintenance is the most neglected item on the generator service schedules. I see it constantly. Oil changes done, filter changes done, governor calibration and actuator inspection skipped. The governor is what keeps your frequency stable under every load change your system throws at it. If you are not checking it on a scheduled basis, you are waiting for a problem. For electronic governors, audit your settings every major service. Loop gain stability. These parameters drift over time as system conditions change. What was correctly calibrated 2 years ago may not be correct for the load profile you are running today. For fuel systems, change your filters on schedule, not when they look dirty. Under high load, a filter that is 70% blocked will behave like a faulty block filter. Don't wait for symptoms. Load management is the other piece. If you have large motors on your system, talk to the operation team about how they are being started. A variable frequency drive, in other words, a VFD on large motor eliminates inrush current almost completely. That single change can transform frequency stability on a site that has been struggling for years. Here's the big picture takeaway. Frequency drop under load is never just one thing. It is always a combination of engine capability, governor response, fuel delivery, and load demands. Your job as the technician or supervisor is to eliminate each one systematically. in the order I showed you until you find the weak link. The generator that drops frequency is telling you something. Learn to listen to what it's saying before it stops saying anything at all. Before you go, drop something in the comments. What's the most generator problem you've seen on site? I read everything, and your answer might become the next video. Next week, I'm covering what happens inside the generator when it runs out of fuel under load. Damages it causes, why it's happened faster than you think, and what to do to prevent it. Subscribe so you don't miss it.